For this year's September seasonal banner, we have a new theme. Last year was Flame Tribe, this year we're doing a Wind Tribe theme. You can get Wind Tribe or Wind alts for Catria, Dagr, Claude, and a dual pairing of Kagero and Orochi. In a fairly literal sense, this is quite the lethal banner. We'll talk about everyone's stats, skills, and discuss some general playstyle and build ideas. For the 4-star focus unit, it's going to be Catria. You can get her at 4-star and 5-star rarity. Wind Tribe Catria is going to be a blue flying archer. Don't worry, no triangle attack shenanigans this time. For stats, she has 39 HP, 45 attack, 45 speed, 25 defense, and 30 resistance. Catria has a nice speed super boon. Now obviously, with 45 attack and speed, we have another very offensive archer, slightly more res if you need to take a hit. For ult skills, Catria is going to come with a nice selection. We have Harsh Command Plus, Attack and Speed Catch 3, and Speed and Defense Far Trace 3. Everything here is pretty good. We finally did get Attack and Speed Catch 3 on a free-to-play unit, but if you want to save some grails, here's another option. As for Speed and Defense Far Trace, this is only on Ascended Florina, so it's a pretty rare skill if you have a Flying Dagger or Archer. Now Catria's weapon is the inheritable White Wind Bow Plus, 12 might, and at start of turn if user has more than 25% HP, grant the no follow-up and no panic statuses for 1 turn. At start of combat, if unit has more than 25% health, grant bonus attack and speed plus X during combat. X is equal to the number of positive status effects on the unit and negative status effects on the foe times 2 plus 5. Essentially, you get a base plus 5 attack and speed. With the no follow-up and no panic statuses, Catria is going to get at least plus 9 attack and speed. There is no cap stated here, so you can keep scaling the more positive statuses on Catria or the more negative statuses on the foe. However, field buffs and debuffs do not count. It's gotta be something in brackets. It is worth noting that the no follow-up status has a speed check tied to it. This means White Wind Bow will be better for faster archers in general. That's kind of given with the extra speed, but yeah, keep that in mind. Even with 2 arcane bows out there, White Wind Bow Plus ain't a bad secondary option. If you can outspeed, full no follow-up effects are great, no panic helps if you like field buffs, and you can kind of just keep gaining stats if you have a lot of stats effects on the field. For playstyles, things are pretty simple. We got high attack and speed, we got no follow-up. If a Catria outspeeds, she will double. You can get bonus attack and speed from her weapon. You're gonna have attack and speed catch 3, and Far Trace provides Kanto with some debuffs. For C skills, while reigns are fine, you could run attack and speed Oath 4. This provides the warp status, which is another plus 2 attack and speed for the bow. The attack and speed self buffs are also protected by no panic. Remember, if the foe has negative statuses, that's another plus 2 stats each. You're probably going to need some allies for that though. While Catria has some decent damage potential, she has 0 defensive perks with this base kit. No follow-up is going to let you double, but if that first shot doesn't kill, you're going to have to take a hit back. Unless you bring guard, that could be a special proc. If you want damage and speed but with some defensive hope, you could go for Remote Mirror or Remote Sparrow. It's going to add 30% damage reduction. Just keep in mind, White Wind Bow has that 25% HP condition, so if Catria gets really low, then it's a lot of power gone. Now you could use the weapon for enemy phase. We do have some percentaire skills that could work there, like Guard 4. However, Catria probably wants to avoid tanking any major damage. If you have it, Desperation 4 can work at full HP, and we have a no follow-up weapon to guarantee the outspeed double. Gonna have to lose Kanto though. While White Wind Bow Plus isn't that bad, if you want brave attacks, the White Cat Bow Plus, still amazing. Perfect for Catria's stat spread. However, we got 2 arcane bows now. Currently, Rearmed Tana is on a banner with Arcane Nastron. This weapon has slaying, plus 5 stats, 30% DR for 1 hit, every follow-up attack, and grants the an extra attack bonus based on the foe's special. Main benefits here are the damage reduction and slaying. Every follow-up is okay, but offensive follow-up generally is better. Now the benefit of inheriting from Tana is that she can give everything on her to Catria. Nastron, Deadeye, Attack and Speed Unity, and the potent Guidance 4. This Catria may not have triangle attack, but Guidance 4 can be just as annoying. You can also get self-warping for Catria with Flyer Mobility Sacred Seals if you aren't running Oath 4. Now, what about Arcane Dark Bow from Rearmed Alchris? Slaying, offensive no follow-up, and Desperation. Its defensive plan is to KO the enemy before they fight back. If you aren't confident in taking any kind of real counterattacks, then this may be the better weapon with full offensive build. You could run Heavy Blade to get Deadeye on the second shot. You can't get Flash Sparrow unfortunately, but Alchris does have Demon Torment Smoke 3. Pathfinder is, a little strong. Overall, Wind Tribe Catria is a fairly standard good offensive 4-star focus unit. We have a free-to-play blue flying archer, but Catria outguns some Relentia by quite a bit if you just care about pure damage. Next up, we have Wind Tribe Dagr. Wow, they have a dual ult together. Dagr's the lead for that one, so I'm kind of surprised she got another ult before her sister. This time, Dagr is a Sword Cavalier. She has 41 HP, 45 attack, 46 speed, 30 defense, and 22 resistance. She has speed and res super boons. Res may not be bad if you just want to stack all the stats. Now, due to the super boon and speed, I believe Dagr is the fastest Sword Cav for now. We'll see how long that lasts for. For old skills, Dagr has a Draconic Aura for her special. Attack and Speed Clash 4 is great for mobility, and she can actually get the max 4 move bonus in a certain way. She will want to be slightly solo though, because Alarm Attack and Speed grants those self buffs and Kanto 1. Now Dagr's weapon is the Fujin Uchiwa 16 Smite Sword accelerated specials. If Dagr has more than 25% health at start of combat, she gets bonus stats equal to 5, plus the greater of Dagr's field buffs or the foe's field buffs on each stat. Also, inflict debuffs on the foe's stats equal to the foe's current field buffs on each stat. Dagr then gets 40% DR for one hit and breath type cooldown for all actions. Basically, lots of stats, lots of cooldown, and damage reduction for one hit. Dagr technically has Freya's field buff stealing mechanic, so if the foe were to have plus 6 attack, Dagr gets plus 6 attack and inflicts minus 6 attack on the foe to cancel out that buff in combat. However, if the foe doesn't have field buffs, Dagr can still get stronger. She will keep her bonus doubler effect. You just take the highest value. Now if the foe has plus 4 attack, but Dagr has a plus 6 attack field buff, in combat Dagr gets another plus 6 attack, however she will still inflict minus 4 attack on the foe. Not up for a remix just yet, but Wind Tribe Dagr gets a slight change to her unique B skill. It is now called Twin Sky Wing. First off, Dagr is going to get Pathfinder from her skill now. At the start of turn, she grants Pathfinder to Dagr's support partner for one turn. If more than one partner is present, effect does not activate. This skill then just has the original Sun Twin Wing effect. If above 25% health, inflict minus 5 speed and defense on the foe, and Dagr is going to get full no follow-up effects. Extra debuffs and no follow-up for Dagr's stat stacking playstyle is excellent for brawling on either phase. She still has Pathfinder, but now she can share it with a support partner. While this does mean we have another Pathfinder unit you could slap on your defense team, Dagr won't be able to just give any other defense team member Pathfinder. In the player's hands though, you can get 2 Pathfinder units for the price of 1 via support, but you can't abuse the support mechanic because if you have multiple copies of the same ally on the field, it's not going to work. Understandable why there are a little restrictions here. That said, Pathfinder is still insanely strong, and now at least in your hands, Dagr can create a Pathfinder conga line with any ally. If that support partner extends Dagr's range, this is how she can hit the max 4 move bonus for Clash 4. For some partner ideas, maybe a bulky frontliner. You might be able to send out an attacker, let them use counter to retreat using the frontline tank as a free Pathfinder space. Obviously, any high movement units, Sigurd's ults handing out a +1 movement will be a lot of fun. Now with her new refine, give Pathfinder to Brave Marianne. Her Requiem Dance inflicts gravity on the ally. Pathfinder can extend the ally's movement options potentially. You're just going to need to be right next to them though. For the most part, Wind Tribe Dagr is a solid and simple Sword Cavalier, for combat at least. Very fast, can gain a lot of stats, and has a lot of solid effects such as no follow-up, 40% DR, and accelerated specials with breath type cooldown. They aren't doing anything too crazy because Dagr still has Pathfinder for herself. Each turn, she's also going to give Pathfinder to her support. She can now benefit from the extra mobility herself. Maybe you could have Brave Crumb borrow Pathfinder from said support for more options. For combat, Dagr just needs to stay healthy and she's going to get all the effects we mentioned, plus Fujin Uchiwa will steal the enemy's field buffs. She can punish field buffs, but if the enemy is not buffed at all, then that's okay, she still has bonus doubler. For more stats, we have Attack and Speed Clash 4 and Alarm Attack and Speed. That would give plus 6 field buffs for Dagr to double. She gets Kanto 1, and if she moves at least 2 spaces, you can neutralize your Attack and Speed debuffs. Twin Sky Wing also provides another minus 5 speed and defense on the foe. If Dagr doubles, she can get Draconic Aura off. Nothing super crazy here, just some solid Sword Master type perks, but on a horse. For some alternative skills, Surge Sparrow would be nice to upkeep health, however it is player phase only. Maybe you could run Aether instead since Dagr can function on either phase just fine. With Slaying plus Breath type cooldown, 2 hits will proc Gale Force. You can play off your support partner's Pathfinder or let the extra mobility open up attack options with Dagr's own Pathfinder ability. You could run Gale Force with Flared Sparrow for a budget Golvik setup. For C skills, I like Alarm for Kanto. You could get Attack and Speed field buffs from Menace with debuffs, but I don't know if that's worth changing out. Speed Smoke 4 could provide extra dodge DR with buffs and debuffs, however, it requires you to fight first. For Sacred Seals, Catch 3 is fine, Solo is fine, but if you have enough stats, Guard would be nice to avoid a special counter from the enemy. As a whole, Wind Tribe Dagr is alright, but not extremely surprising combat-wise. Giving Pathfinder to any unit probably is her biggest strength. Having it herself is still insane, but if you have an initiator that can get in and out safely, then they can be a great Pathfinder user, and you don't need even to run Smoke 3 to get the effect. Pathfinder on a Warp Abuser can be a lot of fun, for example, Brave Robin with his 5-space Warp, or perhaps a Wings of Mercy Dancer. Great on Kanto units, Gale Forces, and just in general, it's nice for the extra team ability to set up. Pathfinder still very much should require your respect. Our third unit is Wind Tribe Claude. I don't know what kind of schemes he's cooking, but we need to stop this man. Claude will be a green flying dagger unit. For stats, he has 42 HP, 44 attack, 47 speed, 24 defense, and 26 resistance. Attack and speed super boons because he's Claude, and he makes last year's Duo Flame Tribe Tana look silly. 5 more attack and speed at base. He's going to tie Legendary Yuri for fastest dagger in the game with second highest attack. In general, that's also going to tie for fastest in the game among all units. For old skills, not listed here, but Claude has Lethality. That is very important to his kit. He also has attack and speed ult 4, easy self buffs with warping. Claude's weapon is the Playful Pinwheel. 14 Might Dagger has exert specials and basically the same effects as Catria's Inheritable Bow. Every turn, if Claude's healthy, he's going to get the no follow-up and no panic status. In combat, when above 25% HP, Claude gets +5 to all stats and scaling extra attack and speed equal to the number of positive status effects on Claude plus negative status effects on the foe ×2. Where things get a bit out of hand is the last part. If Claude uses a damage special, he gets cooldown -X before first attack and then cooldown -Y before his follow-up attack. X is equal to the number of active positive status effects on Claude. This has a max of his special count at start of combat. As for Y, this is equal to the number of status effects on Claude minus his special count value at start of combat. Let's do an example to understand this weapon. Naturally, Claude's kit synergizes with this effect. Playful Pinwheel gives no follow-up and no panic. Then Claude has attack and speed ult 4, which grants the warp status. This is 3 active positive status effects, which means X is equal to 3. Claude has accelerated lethality, which is 3 cooldown. Thus, Claude can instantly proc lethality on his first attack. In this scenario, Y is going to be equal to 3 active bonuses minus lethality's 3 cooldown at start of combat, so Y is actually 0. If Claude had 4 active bonuses, he would get -1 cooldown before his follow-up occurs. 5 bonuses is -2, and if you can get 6 status effects, then 6 minus 3 is once again -3 cooldown. So, that means like Harmonic Aura, it is possible for Claude to proc 2 lethalities back to back. That is disgusting, but it does require a bit more setup. One thing to take note of, for X you have a max cooldown equal to the special count at start of combat. This means for 3 cooldown lethality, no matter how many statuses are on Claude, he can only ever get -3 cooldown for that first hit. Normally that is okay. However, because of this restriction, it can be stopped by scowl effects. But as we've been discussing, Brave Robin's Rally Spectrum can counter scowl, which means Claude will still get that instant lethality off. Special cooldown interactions continue to get more and more complex. Next up, Claude once again brings Fallen Star, but better. Deep Star gives Claude Kanto 1. If Claude initiates or is within 2 spaces of an ally, he inflicts -5 speed and defense on the foe and gets damage reduction for first attacks with an S. When initiating, this is the same 80% disgustingness. New to the skill though is that on the enemy phase, Claude gets a still decent 30% DR as well. Exact same DR profile as Brave Marianne's Near Refine. Now, after initiating combat, Claude will gain Deep Star as a status and inflict AoE gravity around his target. Deep Star is the same as Fallen Star, except its 80% damage reduction now works against the 2 hits from Brave attacks. For those not familiar, this skill makes Claude very annoying. If he initiates, unless you pierce the air skills, you probably are not killing him through 80% damage reduction. After the fight, Claude's now going to get Kanto plus Gravity, which can lock down teams. If you can even reach him, the Deep Star status gives Claude 80% DR again for one fight. In fact, he also has 30% DR at base for enemy phase, so even more protection. Wind Tribe Claude getting that fat 80% damage reduction against Brave hits really emphasizes the need for DR piercing when you face him as well. We ain't done yet, cause Claude introduces a new inheritable A skill to the game, Attack and Speed Prime 4 states. If bonus is active on unit, grants attack and speed plus X during combat. X is equal to the number of active positive status effects on unit times 2 plus 3. With 3 status effects, you will hit the max plus 9 attack and speed. Secondary condition: if you have 4 status effects active, your unit gets distant or close counter. Wow. Attack and speed prime 4 is a crazy skill. In fact, it's inheritable by all physical damage units, which is really surprising. Armors, calves, flyers, even beasts are included. The fact it can give you either distant or close counter is insane, definitely a first of its kind in Fae. If you have a unit or team that supplies positive status effects, Prime 4 is almost a guaranteed activation. Enemies can't really remove status effects from your units. There are very few ways to do it. I feel I'm forgetting more, but I know Duo Thor's dual skill is one potential way. In a vacuum, the fact that distant attack and speed solo has already been beaten in combat is hilarious. However, Prime 4 requires some planning. If you want distant or close counter, this is not a skill you can run with just any team comp. Outside of dual/harmonic skills, I'm certain very few units can get 4 status effects on their own in a build. You will probably need outside help. Just to name a few options, Asker is great since he gives resonance blades and shields. The dreaded harmonic Catria and harmonic Cordelia both will give a warp status with their respective triangle attack and dual strike. Their harmonic skills each give another 2 statuses, so they can give their team the 4 status effects. Citrine can help you spread statuses to multiple allies, so if your dream is to have a full Prime 4 team, she's your gal. As for Brave Chrom, he can yoink statuses from his teammates, but Chrom doesn't really give any to himself. Since we talked about it, the new Dagr gives a Pathfinder status to her support. Chrom can take Pathfinder from them. Citrine cannot spread Pathfinder specifically to others. Back to Claude, let's put together his game plan. It's disgusting. At start of turn, he gets the no follow-up, no panic, and warp status. With 3 status effects, any initiation will begin with an instant lethality, which is only countered by Scowl. From Playful Pinwheel, Claude gains +5 to all stats, another +6 attack and speed for 3 bonuses. Attack and speed prime grants another +9 attack and speed, and Oath 4 has its +6 field buffs with the potential +3 bonus. Deep Star provides -5 speed and defense. After combat, Claude inflicts AoE gravity and gains Deep Star, plus he has Kanto 1. He now has 4 status effects, which means Prime 4's close counter effect will activate, and Claude still retains at least 80% DR for one fight. Unlike his previous Fallen Star iterations, the 80% DR now applies to the first 2 Brave hits, which is very powerful. Thanks to no follow-up, as long as Claude isn't outsped, you do not have to worry about follow-up attacks. To become truly disgusting, Claude wants 5 or 6 status effects, meaning you're gonna need some outside help. With 5 statuses, for his follow-up attack, Claude will get -2 cooldown. If the enemy had counterattacked him without guard, this is enough to proc a second lethality. However, with 6 statuses, Claude just straight up gets a second lethality for his follow-up attack. No other special charging is needed. I don't believe any Scally type effects work on follow-up attacks, so there's no counter there as well. I thought the back-to-back specials was going to be Harmonic Iris thing, at least for a while, but nope. We now have a second unit who can pull it off. Good luck if you're trying to stop this man. Easier said than done, but obviously you want to reach Claude first when he only has 30% DR. However, if your first hit does not kill the dude, he's going to throw lethality right back at you. He might not have close counter, but teams should plan to give Claude a 4th status effect, not counting Deep Star. For other skills, honestly, when Tribe Claude has a fully synergistic kit, you want Oath 4 for the warp status specifically, and Prime 4 provides close counter to go with Deep Star. You could try Flared Sparrow, but Claude already has AoE Gravity for lockdown. To get more status effects, that's going to come from Claude's teammates. You don't have to use lethality, but why not? Claude does lack sustain, but if you just want pure damage, then more attack and speed skills for the Sacred Seal. Desperation would be fun, but Playful Pinwheel has the usual 25% HP threshold. You could also run Guidance or Order type skills. Claude can survive with his high DR, or just not get touched because he's throwing lethality. You can set up the gravity field with Kanto, and then you can provide the team warping potential. If you're already outspeeding, Guard could delay a DR piercing special counter, or it could delay defensive specials, which are some of the few things that can stop lethality. Also, shout out to Hardy Bearing. Someone like Brave Marth with Vantage plus Special Spiral 4 can cheese Claude. Overall though, if this is what they're giving for a fun seasonal alt, I can only imagine Legendary Claude's remix is going to have to be even crazier. Unless we get more ways to neutralize statuses, expect to take a lethality if Claude gets to attack. Our last unit for today is Duo Wind Tribe, Kagero and Orochi. Kagero was paired up with Thief Nina last year, but it's going to take center stage this time. She's a colorless cavalry dagger unit with 43 HP, 47 attack, 45 speed, 20 defense, and 23 resistance. Kagero has speed and res super boons. With 47 base attack, Kagero easily is the highest attack dagger in the game, 3 more points than Claude and Yuri. For reference, she ties other units for highest base attack in the game as well, not including boons. I think Summer Ephraim still reigns over with his super boon though. Now obviously, Duo Kagero is going to be very offensive and she has 3 movement as well. For old skills, she also has Lethality. Kagero then gets Remote Sparrow and Cloudless Feud 3. For her weapon, Duo Kagero has the Bright Wind Fans. 14 might, enables Kanto distance with a max of 3, and accelerates special trigger. If Kagero has above 25% health, she gets plus 5 tall stats, bonus attack and speed equal to 20% of her speed stat at start of combat. She's going to gain no guard, and when initiating, Kagero gets 50% DR for 1 hit, then empowers her next counterattack with the total damage she reduced from all sources. While the description is long, this is not a super complex weapon. Kanto distance is the same one Harmonic Aura had, but with a max of 3 spaces. If Kagero moves 3 spaces to attack, she can Kanto move 3 spaces to retreat. Extreme long range hit and run potential. For combat, with 45 base speed, Kagero gains plus 9 attack and speed extra. This means she at least will get plus 14 attack and speed just from the weapon. You're going to want no guard and sling for a chance of proccing lethality, but Kagero will need to work for it still. From her original weapon refined, she's going to get that 50% damage reduction, and now she's going to get the reflected counter mechanic. With Remote Sparrow, she's going to actually have 65% damage reduction, not as much as Mr. Claude, but respectable. The more damage Kagero takes though, will equal higher reflected damage on her second hit, that could potentially be alongside a lethality proc as well. Sadly, without extra cooldown skills, Kagero can't get to lethality if she initiates, takes a counterattack, and attacks again. That's only 3 cooldown. Well, their dual skill can solve this issue. Grants -1 special cooldown whenever to Kagero, also grant +1 movement and the low status to neutralize enemy field boss. This dual skill will recharge every 3rd turn. Fairly simple, but it means we now have a 4 movement range Cavalier, and Kagero will now have enough cooldown to proc lethality on her second attack. Keep in mind, Kagero's Kanto distance has a max of 3 spaces. Even if you initiate from 4 spaces away, you're only going to get Kanto 3 movement, unlike Harmonic Aura. That's fine though, because she's ranged. Moving on, Kagero has a new inheritable B skill, Disarm Trap 4. It now inflicts -4 speed and defense on the foe. When initiating, you gain offense and a follow. It keeps its old effect, which was in Aether Raids. If you stop on a bolt or heavy trap, you destroy that trap. It previously did not affect hex traps, which kinda made the entire skill look silly. Now, when you step on the hex trap, you will reduce the HP condition by 10. Just a reminder, this is a dagger only skill. Not exactly a hard counter, but Disarm Trap 4 can at least mostly live up to its name if you want to deal with the trap tiles. Kagero does have slightly higher HP to try and make use of this effect, but if or when the hex trap level goes up, well, I don't know. Now, Disarm Trap 4 isn't only an Aether Raid skill, it can activate debuffs, and it now gives offense and a follow-up when you're initiating. For Dagger Cavaliers and Flyers who cannot use Flow B skills or no follow-up skills, this is an option if you want to double consistently. Brash Assault 4 is another option for them, but it only provides a free follow-up attack, which can be used to cancel follow-up denial. If you're faster though, offense and follow-up is just generally way better to have. For the general gameplay loop, Duo Kagero and Orochi are a fairly standard offensive Dagger Cavalier, long range initiations, which then gets long range Kanto movement, and it can create some stupid hit and run scenarios. In combat, Kagero gets a lot of attack and speed, around 65% DR with her weapon and Remote Sparrow, then she reflects the damage she reduces on her follow-up attack. With Disarm Trap 4, she can double if she outspeeds, and if you use her dual skill, you're going to have enough cooldown to proc lethality on the second attack. Without the dual skill, you're going to need Heavy Blade or another support ability. No guard will help keep things consistent though. For Aether Raids, you can disarm trap tiles and you can partially counter hex traps now. Kagero still needs high enough HP to beat the lower HP trigger. You're definitely going to want at least 2 blessing bonuses. For some other skills, I would commit to player phase initiations, especially with Kanto distance. You could run Brash 4, but it's not going to guarantee a follow-up. It will be extra damage reduction though, and you get another instance of the reflected damage portion. Like other attackers, Guard's a nice perk that avoids special counterattacks, percent DR can only do so much and it avoids those DR piercing specials. If you want to get a little more technical, Kagero can enable some aggressive warp strategies. She isn't really a unit who will tank a lot of hits unless you bring healing. However, you can use things like Push 4 or Fury to help drop into Wings of Mercy range. The downside is her weapon's HP condition. With Kanto distance though, Kagero has a lot of freedom to position and that means more warp positions to attack from. You could even run Defensive Res Smoke 3 to get Pathfinder, although that's a bit of a waste since daggers already inflict those Defensive Res debuffs. This is where the new Dagr support Pathfinder ability would be nice to have. If you want to give up damage, you could run Wind or Water Sweep just to be annoying, maybe add Flared Sparrow and Savage Blow. Overall, Duo Kagero is dangerous, but she does need to put in some work to get to lethality, and she isn't as safe as Claude if she doesn't KO in 2 hits. Without defense enough follow-up or follow-up denial, she's open to quick riposte skills, and Kanto control can also catch her out of position. She has no percent DR for the enemy phase, whereas Claude has Deep Star and Close Counter for his own protection. In exchange for combat prowess, Kagero will have Disarm Trap, and if she is free to Kanto, then she can zoom all over the place. If you can dual skill, you also get a 4-move range Cavalier, which is still dumb. That'll be it for this banner breakdown. If you like Dagr units, this is a fun banner. Wind Tribe Claude is not going to be fun to deal with though. We also have some fun skills on hand. Prime 4 is something. I cannot wait to see how people try to utilize it. And then we have Disarm Trap 4, but is it worth using now? You're not going to have a crazy amount of HP for those Hex Traps. Let me know your thoughts on the banner, and good luck if you are summoning. Next up, the Tempest Trials is already underway. The reward unit is going to be our Wind Tribe Chief, Fuga. I'll talk about what he can do next time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.